2,000 people are in the hospital with COVID-19 right now. That's more people in the hospital than 2,000 people are in the hospital with COVID-19 right now. That's more people in the hospital than at any other time since this pandemic began. ICUs across the country say they're crippled by a crush of patients as pandemic-related hospitalizations hit an all-time high.
We need help. We're short nurses.
New data revealing 40% more people are now hospitalized with COVID than just 2 weeks ago.
They're absolutely just overwhelmed.
Massachusetts is now preparing field hospitals. California is rolling back reopenings. And Vermont is requiring all travelers to quarantine even if they test negative. Despite new efforts to control the spread, the U.S. on Tuesday saw its highest number of daily cases ever, with more than 130,000. All 50 states are now reporting infections on the rise. Texas now seeing nearly 11,000 new cases per day. On the front lines, workers are fearing the worst as we hit the height of flu season.
I don't know. Are we going to have enough rooms? Are we going to have enough vents? I don't know.
But White House officials say help is on the horizon.
So I would say by April, you'll be able to be vaccinated.
The government says it's ready to distribute 20 million doses of the vaccine as soon as it's approved. Vandenberg Air Force Base in California will be one of the first locations to receive Pfizer's trial vaccine.
We're going to start with our healthcare workers. We're looking at, folks that manage critical infrastructure.
The base could receive up to 10,000 doses, with shipments arriving in the next month.
On this Veterans Day, President Trump at Arlington National Cemetery taking part in a ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. It's a tradition to honor the members of the military who serve and sacrificed. The president making his first public appearance since Joe Biden became the apparent winner of the presidential election. President-elect Joe Biden in Philadelphia. He's also marking Veterans Day, laying a wreath at the Korean War Memorial. Biden's son Beau served in Iraq.
So far, still no concession from President Trump, who lost the presidential election last week.
The Washington Post reports the White House Budget Office is now telling federal agencies to move forward with their budget proposals for the next fiscal year. Those proposals would typically be issued next February, weeks after President-elect Joe Biden is set to be sworn in. It comes as new details emerge about one legal battle the president is waging. Overnight, Pennsylvania revealing that about 10,000 mail-in ballots were received during the 3-day grace period after polls closed. Those late ballots, and whether they're valid, are at the center of a Trump campaign lawsuit. But the latest statewide tally shows Joe Biden maintaining a 47,000 vote lead in Pennsylvania, far more than the contested 10,000 ballots.
President Trump now projected to win Alaska's 3 electoral votes, and
in Alaska, Republican Dan Sullivan is now projected to win the Senate seat. That puts the GOP Senate count at 50. The best Democrats can hope for at this point is a tied Senate, which would give them control, with a tie-breaking vote coming from then Vice President Kamala Harris. It all depends on Georgia, where there are 2 outstanding Senate races headed toward a runoff in early January. That vote 2 days after the new Congress is sworn in.
After the firing of Defense Secretary Mark Esper, 3 more top Pentagon officials were shown the door on Tuesday.
Anthony Tata has taken over as the military's top policy chief. He's a retired Army general and Fox News analyst whose nomination to the same job was pulled earlier this year because of offensive tweets he sent about Islam.
Supporters of Obamacare are feeling hopeful after arguments at the Supreme Court over a challenge to the law. Conservatives Brett Kavanaugh and Chief Justice John Roberts question whether no individual mandate penalty means the Affordable Care Act should be repealed. The Chief Justice seemed to indicate the court should stay out of the fight.
It's hard for you to argue that Congress intended the entire act to fall if the mandate were struck down when the same Congress did not even try to repeal the rest of the act. I think, frankly, that they wanted the court to do that, but that's not our job.
18 states want the law repealed. A ruling is expected in June.
Wildlife officials are on the hunt for new nests after finding dozens of dangerous murder hornet queens.
And yes, we do believe there are other nests.
Experts are dissecting the first known Asian giant hornet nest in the U.S. after finding it in Washington state near the Canadian border last month. Splitting the removed tree open to inspect the nest inside, scientists found the 14-inch nest contained 500 live specimens, including 76 hatched virgin queens, each one capable of leaving to mate and start their own colony. The 2-inch hornets are equipped with a stinger long enough to pierce through a beekeeping suit and are known to destroy honeybee colonies within a few hours. Their invasion could be catastrophic to other insects that help keep plants alive through pollination.
Chief Meteorologist Ginger Zee, and we've got to track Eta. It has already done so much damage in southeastern Florida. This is from Davie. There are places there that will end up with 20 inches storm total. But now the storm is just over 100 miles west-southwest of Fort Myers, and it is headed northeast. And so Tampa, Anna Maria Island, down to Yankeetown on hurricane watch. The conditions will deteriorate as we go through the day today. There's a pretty broad spectrum that could be impacted by tropical storm force winds. So from Fort Myers all the way up to Gainesville, we are on tropical storm warning just west of Orlando. Those warnings exist. And then it's really the timing tomorrow that this makes landfall. But conditions are going to be rough today, and the impacts are going to be 2 to 4 feet of storm surge tops. 6 inches of new rain, and so that could cause some flash flooding, certainly in Tampa. You know that there are some real big water issues there. And then the flood watches actually extend all the way to the north, because what's going to end up happening with those flood watches is Eta is going to run into a front, and that front is going to help to squeeze together too much rain for some of the higher elevations in western North Carolina and South Carolina. There are watches all the way up into Virginia.
That's all for today, and remember to subscribe to our channel, like and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.